Okay, we are going to get into it again. I had to go do some stuff outside. All right, we're going to continue with this. If you are curious how I got to this point, go ahead and look at the stream before this one. I'm now complete with some other pliers with a nice flat grip, and even some cutters. We should be good to go. All right, so what I'm going to be doing, again, to remind you, is to hang these little pictures, they're double-sided, off of these branches of a tree, and then have something nice kind of sitting at the top. A bird of some kind, and I'm realizing that I don't have too few, actually, because I can branch off with smaller wire and make plenty. So got 7 total, so I can do 2, 4, 6, and then a 7th at the tip, and I should be good to go. Yeah, that should work. So I can even do the single-sided ones at the bottoms, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3 of these up at the top, something like this. But I can offset them with a small wire branch. Okay, let's get this going. So to start off, I can finally crimp because I have a nice toothed plier there. So I'm going to grab the end of this guy, do a nice pinch, nice and flat. Oh, so much better now, huh? And then I can get this little gap out by twisting again. And then I got a nice flat end to this. So what I can do is I can extend a little bit from this with the clay, not too much though. I don't want to get lots of thin, breakable parts of the tree, so I might end up making the ends of the branches a little stubby on purpose. This one, I'm going to actually unwrap this one just a tiny bit because most tree branches don't branch more than twice in one spot, so I'm going to do this correctly. There we go. That's a little more like a tree. And then let's see about this top one. So this top one, I kind of want to keep curling this one around. So I'm going to have this holding a bird maybe on top, although that's probably not the best for lots of weight, but I think it'll be okay. The biggest concern in the end is any kind of long-limbed thing, either legs, arms, whatever, especially a tree like this. I'm going to end up with cracked clay in the end. Any kind of motion on this, if it's baked, will crack it. So as long as you're prepared to deal with that, a one-off like this should be okay. It's going to get a lot stronger once I wrap the other wire out, but any kind of movement, lots of movement, will over time cause it to probably crack a little bit. All right, let's see what we can do here. So I want to kind of have a perch at the top. So I'm going to do something with this. That should work. Probably should have had a third piece at the bottom. The clay will fill that in nicely. It doesn't feel too loose. It's quite thick with this wire. I think it'll be all right. I don't want it to go too far outward, so I'm just trying to balance this a little bit better so that it doesn't spread and fall weight-wise to one side or the other. So I'm looking at it from the top and the sides. Pretty happy with that. And I could look at a tree for reference, but I'm pretty familiar with a tree. And also I want this to be a little stylized, so I'm not going to try to match something exactly. Alright, let's get our thin wire out and see what happens here. Now this wire has that wrapped around. I'll just unwrap this. I just don't want it to get all tangled up in the spool. I prefer having them on that roll. Here we go. Yeah, what I don't want is for it to slinky out on me, so I'm gonna wrap this back up. I think I've got enough there. Cat is very interested in this. Watch the ends, they're pokey. Alright, now here's where it gets interesting. So I'm going to double it up again on the ends. Anything that comes out of this branching out will I want it to be doubled up for thickness and for weight. The only thing I'm going to do is just make a few stems that are going to support the weight of these picture frames. And anything else, I'm not going to be filling this out with lots of leaves and stuff, so it's just going to be regular tree branches and these little fruits hanging. So I need at least 2 off of each one of these. I don't think I'm going to get 3 off of that, so I might have to do 3. Well, let's see what happens. I'm going to have to do a few like this. So what I generally do is hold it down like this, probably pull a little extra off, and then just start wrapping it around in the same direction. Now already that's getting thicker, so I want to be careful not to go too close to the end, but if I want to do branch off of there, I'm going to go a little bit further than I want it to be. I could always cut it off if I have to, but I'm going to try to keep it in one piece. So I can go like that, lengthwise. And if I start to twist that, it'll be easier to twist actually if I start wrapping this again. So let me get that around once. I'm just going to start wrapping this around itself. I can use these pliers because they're easy to grab. I'm just holding it like this so I can open and close it. Really, I'm just doing this for strength, but also it makes it easy to grab the clay onto and whatever little hooky things I'm going to put there. I think I'm going to leave them open hooks like earrings, almost like it's an earring tree. I mean, it really could be for earrings as well. That'd be actually kind of nice. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm making an earring tree. There we go. And it's going to also have little family pictures on it. Okay, so you can see how nicely that looks, a little wrappy, and pretend that it's a little branch coming off of that limb, and we're good. Could even have a second one coming off in the middle of it, but I'm going to try to do it more like a real tree and have them offset from each other. So I'm going to come down a little bit like say that far. Do the same thing, maybe a little longer. Not too long though. You gotta remember the weight. This ball is getting a little frustrating, but not too bad. Hey, there we go. Yeah, this wire's not too bad. Get enough of a loop there. It will hurt. I mean, I'm pressing pretty hard. See, it's making nice little indents in my fingers. So I can only do that for so long, and it really starts to hurt. So, pliers. Be careful with these guys, though. These like to pinch. Gotta watch those. All right. And then this feels loose until I finish this wrapping part. Take 2 off of that one should be good. I'll see if I can get, again, 2 off of the next one. Not sure why I left this one so long on the other side, but let's see what happens. If I'm clever, I might be able to get it to come down up the other side. Yeah, look at that. Might be going the wrong way, but it shouldn't matter. It's not a bad technique. I mean, I'm kind of happy with the results, and I think this will work. And if you use gold wire, you like the look of the wire, you won't even have to really cover it with clay if you're trying to make one of those wire trees. The only thing you would have to do is hide the spool or the trunk underneath, which I've seen done by just drilling a hole through a piece like this. But then you have to do roots and everything out of wire, and it gets to be a lot of wire. Which is fine if you like that look, but I'm going to cover this up because I think it'll look a lot better. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of twisting it and letting it naturally sort of make a bendy sort of branch twist. And then sort of flattening it out. I'm trying to make them come off of opposite sides as they branch up, which I think is the way it's supposed to. I'm twisting this the other way just because the way I've got this made more sense. Doesn't really matter. Alright, I don't really need it to go up and down again, so I'm just going to cut this off. Okay. Guess I'll be right back. No. Okay, fine. These little ends, you want to be real careful. You will poke yourself pretty bad if you leave these hanging out. You go to wrap it with clay. Just make sure to tuck those in. Those pinches. Just giving it a nice solid crimp. The plier is a good idea. But again, watch those little end points. They will poke you. So I'm trying to tuck it in nice and tight there so I can't poke myself. Okay, this is starting to tree itself up here. This top one might be wrapped around a little too much, so I'm going to dial it back a bit. There we go. Good work. As long as I take a few branches off of there, I should be okay. I might even be able to pull one off of this wire here. Let's go the wrong way. Alright, I'm going to do it the right way. So I should have enough if I do this right. At least to get one off. Not quite as long as I want it to be, but I think it'll be okay. I need to use the other plier for that. Yes, kitty. What? No. Yeah, I don't like how short that is. I should have left that longer. I could have done this all in one go. But it's alright. I'm just worried about it not having enough to wrap around. I can reinforce it by wrapping the other one, another piece around, which I need to do anyway. If I don't like that. Stupid pliers. Perfect. I'm just squeezing as I go around. That seems to have done it. So I just want to have little offshoots coming out as it goes up, spreading all the way around. They don't all have to come out of the side either. There's some coming out of the bottom. This one's too long. I'm not sure where they should go. I'm just sort of feeling it out, seeing what looks right. It's looking pretty good. Kind of hard to consciously randomize, but that's what we're doing. Alright, I'm going to do 2 more, because now I have 4, 5, and I need 7. Alright, we're going to do 1 more piece. Not poking anybody. I'm going to start at the highest one. It doesn't really matter too much. As long as I have enough left for the other one, I think I should be good. So let's wrap around once, twice. Oh, right. And I will save the extra. So I do want to rough in this bird. Let's do one here. Short one. I've got another loop. I'm going to start twisting. Not exactly a halfway split there, so I'm just going to twist it until it evens out. Yeah, close enough. It doesn't have to be perfect there. Just tight enough so it doesn't fall apart on you. Okay, it's getting a little tall here. Okay. Let's go around a couple times. This might not be natural. I'll try to get it so that it comes around into the middle there. Maybe out of the bottom. Nope, way too low. Alright, well, let's see what happens. Not quite tight enough. So I'm going to hold it tight there and then wrap a little bit tighter with my hand. And yeah, should do it. Come down, a couple loops. Last big one out. That'll do. Yeah, and now I've got enough extra to wrap down this stem nicely. Give it that reinforcement, but also just to hold itself on nice and tight. All right, we'll just go this way this time. Twisty balance to it, but now it feels a little more interesting. So I'm going to get down and do one more coming out there, and I think I've got all the branches I need. And it's okay to have a few extras anyway, so I'm intending this to function again as an earring rack or some decorative display of earrings, as well as these little frames, so should be good. Now for this bird, to be at the top, probably have the tail come down, hang off, but using the branch to kind of hold it up. So there's a couple ways to do that. I've joined things onto other things before, you know, even like props with wire in them, joining them to the wrist by wrapping the small wire on later. So I think I'm going to do that and just leave this for now. Maybe do another, I could do a small loop or a hint at it. I don't want to make a huge bird because it'll be just too heavy. So let's just say I will, I can do a double, yeah, that should work. I'll do a double wire, fold it in half, do another double, twist it twice. It should be enough. I just want to get enough wire up there so I can join something to it and then decide whether I want to sculpt it on the tree or not directly. I don't think it'll be a big deal either way. Okay, so I'm just wrapping around this part, coming down so I can get one more branch. For this, I might just go down quite a bit further. Actually, wait, I've got 1, 2, 3 already. Alright, well, I guess I have all the ones I need. I'm going to do one more for good luck. How about that? So right now I'm mostly going down for strength, because again this is going to be the one that's supporting the most weight. So I don't mind wrapping down and back up again on this one. Pulling it pretty tight. Again, I don't want to have loose wire. I'll go down to the next split and back up again. That's about where I want it to come off. So just looking at the tree. Ooh, pokey. I'm going to use the pliers and strengthen it up a bit, but I think I've got my piece here. I'm going to start it by hand. Helps you find the middle. As far as I can go with my fingers. I've got to get some music on. Silence is killing me. Okay, now I'm going to pinch this a little bit here just because I don't want it to be too loose. It feels pretty tight. I'm happy with that. Alrighty, I'm going to go all the way down on this one just because I think, why not give it a little more strength all the way down. I don't want to create too many air pockets. The clay will never get in all of it, but it's really okay. I've done quite a bit of this, and I've never had a burst from air bubbles and super sculpty. It's not like any kind of water-based clay. It will not have, it won't create like a pocket that will explode. It does have some kind of porousness to it, but I think that's enough to deal with any kind of heat expansion. All right, now I'm on purpose going down this in the opposite direction of the way that was twisted, because I'm going to get a nice cross weave there. Again, keep the clay from slipping off. All right, we're good. I think we got something here. Feeling pretty good about it. Do a nice little loop at the end here and tuck this away. So to do that, I'm just going to grab the tip, hold it tight, spin it around, nice little loop. Good little jeweler trick there. Super simple bendy wire thing, and then just leave it tucked away in there. Maybe even crimp and spin it about a little bit. There we go. Nice. Yeah. That's nice and tight. Not going anywhere. All right, let's feel it. So I like to do a little drop. Feel how it stands up. It's feeling pretty good. I like this one. I'm going to have this one come off the bottom here. So I might need to twist. You see how I've got a little gap there? I'm going to just hold it and twist it this way. Get it to be even tighter. Being really careful. This is where if you go a little too heavy-handed, you'll pop that right off. This wire is not that strong. If you're gouging it and pinching it really hard with these pliers, you weaken it, and yeah, it can snap just by crushing it. All right, let's see what we got here. I like that. What I don't like is this weird bend over there. I think I'm going to see if I can't. I like how they're all going the same direction. It's kind of interesting. A nice swirl pattern. Ooh, yeah, I like that better. It's kind of interesting to have one that's higher up the tree go a little lower than the one that's coming out from below. Just for fun. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm just playing around here. Look, I made lots of these yet. This is the first time making one of these, so. Oh, I do like that. Coming out there, coming out there. Can even use the tips of these now a little bit. Let's say we want to put something on the end. You have another spot to hang. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, so I'm trying to make this so that they distribute evenly and nicely. I like the look of that tree already. It is looking sharp. It's got a good balance to it overall from the top. I feel like it will not be too heavy in any one spot. Ooh, that's got a nice support. Okay, and then there. We'll do the same thing to all these ends. We'll make them all just flat so that they can be a hanger as well. We'll just do some kind of divot or something in the clay to make them a hangable little perch. I mean, really any kind of roughness in the clay will add to that and make it real easy. Yeah, I like the action of that much better. It's a little artificial in its swirliness, but it's kind of random enough that it'll look nice, I think. All right, I'm just going to leave this bit on the top for now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it for the bird, but it will definitely be enough. All right, now I'm going to make some hooks. I want to do some hanging and see what it looks like. So might as well kind of rough it in and see, make sure everything's in the right height and I got enough distribution before I put any clay on this, because it's going to be a lot harder to bend this whole thing around later. So let's see about getting some hooks on. So as a reminder, from the last one, in case you missed it, we're skipping ahead. Any kind of smooth dental tool can scrape off the acrylic nicely. This one's actually not quite sharp enough. This one works pretty good. It's got almost a cut blade. If you do anything sharper than that, you will scratch the laminate, but you see how that gets the paint right off real easy. So I'll clean the rest of these up later. For now, they're ready to go. I want to get these all hung up. So what I'm going to need to do is get some kind of hole into the middle of all these for hanging wire. So I'm going to probably just use the same wire to bend it through. I could paint it. I might also, I think I'm just going to replace these with actual earring wire. Maybe those earring loops. You can get those on Amazon pretty quickly. To brand name anybody in particular, but they are available there. I ordered them, and I will be getting some on Thursday this week, so I'll be able to finish up these ones that I'm making specifically for earrings, but it's a convenient enough hook that I might just use an earring hook for it. For now, kind of debating on whether or not I should bother to poke the holes. Until I see the loops that come, I'm not sure how hard or how far to make that loop. I'm going to see if I can't heat up a wire into this little doodle pen. So if I can get one into the tip there, I believe I can just use the hot end of the wire. Yeah, it's too thick. Let's see, I might be able to cheat this. So because the wire is a little too fat for that hole, I'm totally guessing here, guys. I don't know if this is going to work. You know what? Sometimes you fake it till you make it, right? So what I'm doing is I'm crimping it down, just trying to flatten it. Really, I could use a little mini anvil on a clamp and hammer it down too. That works really well. I've actually made some tools out of the ends of this thicker wire here, and even nails like this. This is actually it's actually a galvanized nail. You can actually see the twist, the original twist of one of those nails. And all I did was hammer it down until it basically cracked off, and then sanded it, grinded it until it got this interesting sort of shape, and then stuck the nail end into a tool, pre-drilled. Boom, there you go. So that's a nice way to make a nice little metal tool for yourself. Yeah, not liking that. Just feeling nervous because this is super slippery, and it will cause me to slip and pinch myself, which I generally try to listen to my intuition, things like this, because when I ignore it, 2 seconds later I slip and cut myself. Yeah, the other thing you can do is kind of heat it up and twist it, but if you do it too much, it's just gonna break. You see, I'm getting a little bit of flatness on one side. The other thing you can do is just grind it down with a file or sandpaper. I do have some files around here. Got these nice little file sets. I highly recommend getting a set of these for whatever you want to do. Nice little flat round and different shapes. Super useful for this kind of thing. So that'll work. So I really just want a couple of millimeters thinner than the regular part of the wire. So this is a really good size for poking through. So I'm going to basically get it into the hot end of that extruder bit, let it heat itself up, and poke it right on through. Because this is just a PLA. It's just going to melt pretty low temperature. So totally guessing here though. We'll see if it works together. How about that? File can't really hurt me, so I'm kind of using my finger to feel it and also stabilize it. These are pretty fine files, so the rasp is not going to hurt you if you primarily pressing on the thing you're holding. It's coming out. Even a slight taper might be enough. Just got to get it into the tip. All right, let me get this plug. Get this plug back in, heating up, because the tip has a little bit of PLA still in it. Oh, look at this tree. Oh, it's looking so good. Like a little bonsai. Love it. Love it. That's going to work. So what I am doing is putting a bunch of little aluminum filings all over my hands too, so having a paper towel and water handy. I'm about to touch some clay. Otherwise, if you're doing gray clay, you're going to paint it anyway. Nobody's going to notice. So I really don't have to get my hands perfectly clean before starting with the clay. Okay, as soon as that light goes blue, I should be good to go. I'm going to see how far in it goes before I cut it, because I want to get enough sticking out that I can make a hole going all the way through that thing. All right, let's see what happens. Ooh. Not quite. All right, well, the other thing I can do is take this tip off. It does just unscrew. Ooh, it's hot. Be careful. That rubber is warm, and underneath that is a hot tip. So it does come off pretty easily. I'm going to do it carefully with this, even though I really shouldn't be doing it with a hard tool, but it's not so bad. A little easier to do when it's warmed up. So that little guy just screws into there. I'm going to put it down on something that's not going to burn. Keyboard. And stick it on this little block of wood over here. There we go. Alrighty, well, that looks a little easier to deal with. Yep, that'll do. Ooh, that's kind of dirty. Gross. But that'll work. So it's even a little too thick for that. Come on. But now I can see how deep to go. I want about that much extra. Yeah, that'll work. Enough to be able to grab onto it, take it back out again. Now, having a little bit of a tip on there that's sharp, you see how it's already a little sharp just from the way you cut it with the wire. It's always a little flat though. Sometimes I'll do it at an angle. I want like a needle point almost. See if I can do it. Oh, it's a little short. It's hard to do right at the edge. Nope. I'm gonna have to cut a little off to do that. Just trying to get the tip at an angle without cutting myself. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Ooh, that's sharp. Careful. I've used these before, you know, just to drill by hand, even into clay. Cut a piece of wire like that if I want to get a really fine hole. Just doing this and holding it like that will bore a nice little hole for you. It's a little messy, and you know it takes a while, but when you're dealing with delicate pieces. Now, this is hot, and it will get hot once I put this in, but I do have a few seconds. Eeh. Uh-oh, too far. Yeah, well, let's see if we can get a second little bit in there. I don't think so. Nope. Well, let's see. This might be enough. I want it to get hot, but the problem is now I cut it too short. Now it has... oh, that gets hot. Yikes. Alright, I'm going to do it again. Got too far in there and I got real hot. Well, that's good news. It does work. It'll melt right through that. Burned me pretty good just now. Okay, so that's how far it's going to go. I am going to cut it right now in this piece and be done. Quick and easy. All right, now I don't want to get the screwy bit that pulls the extrusion PLA down, so I'm going to be really careful not to hit the back button or whatever it is that makes this go back. It's basically slow and fast, and then anyway, let's see what happens. So this should be getting nice and hot. Oh, it's warm. Alrighty, let's see what happens. I'll get a hole right about there. Yeah, look at that. So cool. That totally worked. PLA cools pretty fast, so if I leave it in there for a second and just pull it out. Oh, look at that, got a little hole. Oh. Sometimes things just work out. Was it hot? No. It cools down pretty quick. It's aluminum. Conducts well enough. Alright, let's go here. Got a few more cute little pictures. Again, these pictures were just made at local copy place, color laser prints. Sent the file in. 60 cents, whatever, 50 cents. Laminated it myself. Oh, there you go. Nice. Boom, right through. Oh, this is gonna work. Yeah, that cools down real fast. Yeah, maybe I'll hit the button while it's out. Just keeping it woken. If I leave it too long, it will go red again, just turn itself back off. Okay, here we go. Nice and hot. I'm just eyeballing it. I think it'll be close enough distance-wise. Oh, I love it. It really heats up nice. Yeah, and whatever little bit that's left, I can just cut that with a knife, but that's a real nice little hole. Let's see how it goes on these guys. Thinking right in the middle of that thickest part should do it. I want to have enough room for whatever loop these earring hooks come in, but solid enough to make it strong enough to hold. Oh, look at that! Nice and smooth. That is certainly a lot easier than trying to drill by hand with a tiny little drill bit. But in case you're just joining it, that only works because this is PLA, which is plastic from, 3D printer, just this standard PLA stuff. Printed out these frames and hand painted them with gold acrylic. Super simple, easy craft. But yeah, find that file if you want to know where it's from. It's just Thingiverse. You just have to go to thingiverse.com. There's lots and lots of really good free stuff there by different artists, and these were I found these by typing in ornate frames, and then I finally found these Baroque. Baroque is a time period. A certain, I don't know, Renaissance era? I don't know. I'm not a historian, so whatever. Don't hold me to that, but that's what they're called. It's a specific style. Oh, gotta be careful. If I heat that up too much, see it's starting to bend. Gotta be careful with that. But as long as I got the hole, I can cut the rest. I should be good to go. Ah, that gets hot. Be careful. Yeah, I would not recommend doing this with a soldering iron or anything else. This is only working because this thing has got a nice little protective rubber thing. It's easy to hold. These pens are pretty easy to find. They're probably the that cool down before trying to pull it out. Also twisting it might help. Oh, yeah, there you go. That works. That's working real well. A couple more here, and then I will be good to go. I'm just going to make a simple wire hook so that I can plan this out, make sure it's balanced, and then we will start with clay. We are getting close to an hour. I like to keep these somewhat reasonably lengthed, just in case, who knows what doesn't work out. So I may start and stop because I do want to keep going with this. Oh, come on. It's warming up. Poking through 2 bits, but I do have some crazy glue on the inside there, so it might just be that it's being stopped by the glue. Oh, that's also because I let it fall asleep. It got cold. So I'm gonna hit that button. All right, well, while that's warming up, again, let's see about putting it on a little loop here. Ugh. Well, it warms up pretty fast. Might as well finish this one thing at a time. Come on, come on, come on. Hey, there it goes. Nice. That'll clean up nice with a little knife. Cut a hole all the way through. Oops. Well, that almost went straight. Let me try to fix that. I'll come at it from the other side. Yeah, don't double click that. Double click goes in reverse. Gotta be careful. I don't want to grind in the thing. Okay, there we go. good. So 2 more. About an hour. Ooh, time is flying. Thanks. Alright, let's see. This one, similar thing. I'm going to have to go right above that dot, otherwise it is not going to hold. I might have to go right on top of it. So there's not much in there support-wise. Let's see. Oh, that worked. Just keep hitting that button to keep it awake. There we go. 1 more. That little bit of mess around the hole there, I'm not worried about that. I can touch this up with a little gold. And having these hooks is going to actually really help with the spray painting too. So I need to do another coat of gloss still. Final coating. Remember, these are all double-sided laminate with packing tape. So they're going to be pretty much watertight. I wouldn't dunk them underwater, but they will definitely survive outdoors on somebody's ears for a reasonable amount of time in the rain. All right, so that is enough of this heat thing. So I'm going to turn this guy off and put it somewhere safe to cool. Now let's get some hooks in these, and then we will wrap this one up. Let's see if I can't just build out this tree, and then we'll just come back and start doing the clay on the next one. Maybe work on the bird. Get my reference together. Okay, so I'm not even sure how. Let's see. I might have to clean it up first with the knife, which is here. Not bad. As soon as it cools, it's pretty hard plastic, but it will, you know, it melts at a very low temperature, so you can't really use PLA for all kinds of products. It works for some things, but I wouldn't make anything that, you know, needs to support serious weight or wear and tear. They have other things for that. There's other materials, ABS, PG, what is it called? PETG. There's a few other stronger materials out there, or some with more flex built in, depending on what kind of properties you want. This, for this purpose, I'm just going to get a little bit going. Oh, come on. It's being real stiff. Now, some of these I didn't twist while it was hot, so it may be a little trickier to get in, but it shouldn't be too bad. Especially if I kind of use the end that's sharp to drill in, like I was saying before. Ooh, poke myself a bit. There you go. Almost cut myself. Oh, no, there it is. A little bit. Ooh, not too bad. All right. So I really just want a little bit of a hook that simulates a earring hook, so I'm not going to go too crazy with this because I want to make a bunch of them quickly, so I don't want to make it so it's not removable either. So let me see. I'll just do something like this. See, that'll feel something. Look away for a second. Poke yourself. Like I said, that's sharp. I made a little knife edge out of that thing. So be careful, please. So really what I just want here is a little question mark kind of shape so that I can hang it sort of even. Simulate about the length of an earring hook. That should do. And I'm not trying to get them all perfect, so I'm not going to go crazy with like lining them up. But if I was making something for final product, I did do ornaments very similar to this. Similar technique here where you just cut the tip and bend it around like so. It's not the worst little shape. Again, I would do it a little cleaner if I was doing a final product or whatever, but I'm just doing these for funsies here. So that should work. Get a nice little hang on the tree. I almost poked myself again. Alright, so yeah, the whole point of that is to get the hook directly above so it doesn't get all weird shaped. No, they will hang something like so. Yeah, not too bad. That looked nice. Alrighty. I'm going to make a few more of those, so might as well use it as a pattern. Honestly, I'm just going to do that. I don't care that much for these temporary little hooks. Could save them for something for later. Yeah, it's a good little practice for trying to make something same size and shape. Sort of using my finger as a bend around. A better idea would be to use something like a tool. This is what I did for the Christmas ornament thingies I did. I just kind of held this around it, and if you do it in one bend, you can get it without kinks. It's actually pretty complete and nice. See, something like that. Look how nice the curve that is, right? So, if you want to hand make some little ornament thingies, that's one little trick. And whatevs. Again, not trying to make it exact. Leave it enough so that I can twist this around. Pretty close. Again, crimping too much on that, you will start to make flat pieces and rough it up and make it sharp. You don't want to do that. Close enough. All right, so I'm going to stop for now and then come back maybe in a little bit, and after cleaning these up, getting it all hung, make sure it's balanced all the way around, and then start on some clay. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.